All right, we live. We're doing some things here. Um, let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got. We got to come in a little bit here. Something like that. Something like that. All right. This is my knife here. Give me a second. Give me a second. Still working on it. Still working on it. Still working on it. All right. All right. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. All right. I'm pretty much ready. I'm pretty much ready. Doing some things here. Doing some things. Maybe I should hold on. Almost. I lied. All right. All right. All right. All right. Welcome to the cooking show. We're gonna do some things. We're gonna do some things. Um, we're cooking spaghetti today. The way that I cook it, we got. I just turned on the stove. We got the water boiling here, and my sauce. And we'll get into that. But one thing I decided this is a 12-inch pan, right? And I this is how I cook my spaghetti now. I don't not in the Instapot, not in the whatever's, or not in a big old pot. This is it. And then I don't break up my spaghetti. It'll fit right in here. It's one of these 12-inch. Uh, it's a 12-inch pot, and it's got enough water in there to fill the pot, or to boil the spaghetti shallow. We're going to I do put a bunch of salt in here. I don't know if it's supposed to be as salty as the Mediterranean, but uh, it's pretty salty. And then we just put that there. All right. Oh, you know what I got to do? Hold on one second. I am almost ready. I am almost ready. We're going to turn off this light. Give me a moment. Got to rearrange some things. We got to use this light because this light, not that anyone needs to know, but I'm working on these flares, right? That happen. Oh yeah. See, the problem is I already. Well, gosh darn it, the hell. See, the problem is, trouble is, I see here. Part of the problem is, as I turn this off, turn this one on. Okay. We like that. All right, let's see what that looks like. You still got light. Good. Anyway, I already see that this is going to be a problem for me. There's too much heat here. I don't want to subject this light to. This other light's fine, but whatever. Anyway, we're going to cook some spaghetti. Um, yeah, some late night spaghetti. whatevs, with my own homemade sauce and some things. So, if I may be, whoa, what is that? If I may be so bold as to suggest a couple of things, if you're going to be a content creator, you got to remember to press record on stuff. You got to remember to press record. I went out today, try to create some content, and epic fail. Epic fail. I just have audio on it, right? But I didn't have I had my little lav mic, had audio on it, but I did not have any I set up the camera. But I did not push record, and I didn't even check to push record. And that's one of the things where, like, man, I got cocky. I got like really cocky. Ooh, this onion is spicy. It's really ripe. It's gonna be good. All right. So I got a cool little trip that happened that nobody's ever gonna see, which is okay. Don't worry about it. It's okay. You know, these things happen. These things happen. So, what are you gonna do? Anyway, I went out. Just all I did was pick up my laundry, and what I'm having kind of what I'm going through as far as like what is content, what isn't content, you kind of start to develop this pattern where or develop this idea that and this overall pattern and idea that um olive oil there, that damn everything is content, right? um People, well, don't get me wrong, because we will do this, we will say this, okay? A beautiful woman doing something mundane in this day and age is, or just actually a beautiful person, doesn't even matter, a beautiful person doing something mundane in this day and age and going out is 10 times probably more entertaining than somebody like me doing it, right? um of course, depending on what I do, right? It's whatever happens, happens, you know? Throw that onion in there. Um, I think that spaghetti is going to get cooked a lot faster than I was expecting. Let's take a look. You know how you know when spaghetti's done? You taste it. Oh no. Still got a ways to go. So, one of the things I remember looking at is I believe his name is Tom Ford or Tom Forbes. And he's into I believe his channel is called The Art of Photography. And what he does sometimes, or what he used to do, I actually haven't checked in on his channel in a long time. And one of the things that he does is sometimes, like, he was big on and I'm sure he still is, on gear review. And it's funny because that's one of the things I wanted to talk about today, is that about gear review and content creators that that review gear. So this is how I came across him. But he also does interviews with other photographers that I suggest if you're into photography or into art, go in and check him out. Um, there's also uh, so he does interviews, gear reviews, and processes on how to do things as well, right? So he's got kind of like a little complete channel sort of thing. Um, we're using this. But one of the things that he did. Whoa! Let's bring this down. Already made a mess. All right. Well, it's live, man. It's live. This is how this happens. A little bit of this. So he does these like little gear reviews and what have you. But one of the things that he does is like he would go out and takes the camera out with him and does some things to where let's go out, do this, let's go out and do that. One of the crazy things, or and I say crazy because it's mundane and he took a chance with it that someone just sticks in my head is the uh he took us on a trip to the post office. Okay. And I'm like, well, that was pretty cool. And he did it before any other type of gear was available, right? Like it wasn't as easy for him to take us on this trip as it is to use a like an action camera nowadays or something like that, right? So I always thought that was cool. And while it was mundane, in my opinion, I mean, we just went on the post office and did a little edit, of course, with sound and things. And we didn't go inside the post office. He didn't want to film in there, which I think is great. But what he did do was grab his package, wait for us outside, or wait for him outside, and then when we recorded, and then when he got back, he we talked about what it is that came in the mail for him, which was some sort of thing. Oh, you know what? Shoot, I almost forgot. I'm gonna add a little garlic. Yes, we're gonna add a little garlic. Actually, probably gonna add a lot of garlic for me. Just enough. And then we proceeded with his normal channel review sort of thing, right? So I really appreciated that, and I thought that was really cool to incorporate on certain things, and I'm like, he wasn't a particular. He's not ugly, man. I mean, and I'm not trying to sound like a, but to be honest, it's the pretty people that make the content, right? That make the mundane look interesting. But he's got personality, and personality goes a long way. He's got charisma. Uh, by the way, this sauce is. I'll show you. I'll do something else on how I make it, but it's. I make it with the Shinto Samargiano um, uh, the tomatoes that come in the yellow can from Italy. Um, are we almost done with these? We'll get these close. Mm, these are really close. So that's close. The spaghetti is really close to being done. So all we're gonna do, I can actually turn off the spaghetti. Turn this up just a little bit. Get this nice and hot, and then we're gonna kind of finish cooking the spaghetti in here. And it's really not going to take that long. The spaghetti is pretty much cooked. I just wanted to kind of get in here and do its thing with the sauce, um, which I'll show how to make it in a little time. I actually slow cooked the sauce, put it in a slow cooker for a few hours. This sauce, particularly, it's a little more caramelized than I ended up because I did forget about it a little bit. But don't get me wrong, it's still good. Great pizza sauce, great spaghetti sauce. Anyway, I decided that in a way, sort of making weird content, let's just say, by this day and age, or by this means, is really going on trips, taking the camera out. And one of the reasons I'm doing that is because um, I need footage, and I'm calling them self portraits. But what I'm really doing is I need footage to more or less learn how to edit quick, work with the sound, sync sound if I have to, depending on what cameras I use. But when I started doing it, it did end up looking as these quasi self portrait things. They did end up looking pretty decent. And I'm sitting there and it talks to myself. And it's much like this. This also falls into that category of, you bring this down just a tad, of a self portrait. I mean, I'm talking to myself for the most part. I mean, nobody's ever, it's been a while, nobody's really watching any of these. But it, all it is a self portrait of, you know, of me. I'm doing it. But in some weird way, my point is somehow the mundane really does look interesting. I'm going to add just a little bit of water to this. Check it. Just a little bit of the tears of the gods. Oh, gorgeous. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. So I always, no matter how weird the content is, and even this, right? You know, and we're out of lights. Great. I forget that this little battery does not hold a whole lot. This little light is maybe it's overheated. No, it's out. Let me turn this off. And I think to myself, as one dives into the ether that is content creation rabbit hole, you start to see how many people really do get away with mediocre content, right? And we start to see that, well, I think we just have all the little tribes of people that we really like and enjoy, like somewhere, somehow. Um, if you see one person making content, it might be boring, but somehow if you see someone else in your tribe, it might actually be somewhat interesting, you know? And that's, I guess, one of the things that I kind of appreciate about this. Ooh, man, look at this. Ooh, get the smoke on that. Not the smoke, but we'll let that sit for a second. But I got some Parmesan and some crushed pepper from some pizza I ordered yesterday or day before. So we'll do that. And the little Parmigiano. Again, this is Parmesan. It's the packaging is a little weird, but we ain't snorting this. We'll throw the whole thing in there. Why not? And so I keep going. I'm looking at this content, looking at content creating, looking at going, just trying to dissect and understand what is. Oh, this smells so good. What is good content? What is bad content? What is mediocre content? And what is content that gets a lot of views? And don't get me wrong, I'm not looking for views. I'm not looking for anything. I'm looking to practice to help more or less practice on myself, inject myself with um, errors and mistakes so that I can help someone else. So I can help someone else produce their work, their podcast, their live stream. That's really the goal of what I'm doing most of these things for. But to be quite honest, it's kind of fun doing my own solo sort of thing where I'm like editing on the fly. I got the sound almost dialed in. I got my sound almost dialed in. My lighting is pretty basic, but it seems to do the trick for what I needed to do at the moment. I keep dissecting my videos, trying to see, all right, what is the lighting that bad? Is the lighting that good? There's hot spots here. I see those. Obviously, the behind the scene thing right here isn't going to work for everybody, and it's definitely not going to work as far as getting long lasting things on here. Like, it's what I mean is this is not good for the equipment. This camera shouldn't be here taking up all this heat, vapor. This light shouldn't be there taking up all the heat and steam and ultimately the grease that comes up. So all that has got to go away in a real professional setting. For me, I don't care. It is what it is right now. Cool. Um, but it's this. I'd like it. It's probably something that I'm going to keep doing and practicing. And just talking to myself. It's basically a podcast that I have that I get to cook something. And why did I cook something? I got to clean my house tomorrow, dude. Um, Sunday fun day sort of thing. But what's the deal? Why is this the channel? Why am I doing this? Because it is the thing in my apartment that allows me the space I need to test the lights, the equipment, the cameras, the angles, how close, how far I need to be with the things, how where the equipments and the light stands can be placed in order for me to move around and stuff. And it just happens to be in the kitchen. And if I'm in the kitchen, I might as well start doing kitchen things. Um, One of the things I love doing is dishes. I'll put a camera here, and that light now goes here, and I'll do dishes. And it's a little self portrait thing of creating content and doing something that I'm learning how to edit, learning how to synchronize, and learning how to upload. And the more I upload into YouTube, I figure out the things that it does to the the compression that YouTube does and the things it does to the audio and the visuals is kind of weird. So I need to figure that out. And that's just going to be a more learning on YouTube and more learning that needs to be done. More hours on YouTube. That's how you learn things, right? Um, so with that, I taken advantage of the fact that my kitchen is the biggest uh, empty space in here. I can't do it in the living room. I got stuff over there, and that's what I need to clean up tomorrow. Like I was saying earlier, I've been living in my I've been sleeping. My living room has been my bedroom because the bedroom, I took a bunch of stuff out, including the beds, because I was going to rearrange some things. And now the bed's out here. And now it's crazy. Anyway, not that you need to know that. All I was just thinking about is creating content today and how it's not as easy as even in the most mundane way of doing stuff. I mean, something as simple as forgetting how to press record can ruin your day if you really are a um, if you really live off of that stuff. I mean, what if something cool would have happened and I didn't have anything to prove? All I would have to do is just like, oh my God, guess what happened today? Blah 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 blah. This, that, and the other. Um, hold on, let me see what this tastes like because I gotta let you know. Oh, well, don't worry, I already know what it tastes like. I've been doing this for a bit. Mm, mm. Oh man, that's delicious. You know what I needed though. I didn't have any meat. I didn't have any sausage, or I didn't have any thawed out um, ground beef. Now, some of you might say, "Well, you can cook it frozen." You could, but between the two, I was just like, "Well, we're getting on, we're doing our thing." Mm. I'm pressing record, and it is what it is. No meat today. Man, that is actually delicious. Whew. Mm, mm. I got to teach you guys how to make the sauce, and it's not really magical, to be quite honest with you. All I do is basically let it sit in the on low for about 4 to 6 hours. Hopefully, I don't forget, and you just let the flavors going like this, and it's not something I don't think that any Italians would really love, and it's we're not here to make authentic sort of stuff. We're just here to do it. Which I found another channel actually that came across, and I think really these channels are coming across, and I think it's because something is listening to what I'm doing, and always is the phones, right? And I got like these speakers, like the little I don't want to say any name brands, but those speakers that you talk to and they do things for you. Well, um, I have one a couple of those, and ever since I got a new one though. I got a new one because they were on sale and I wanted it. And the thing is that I started as soon as I start, I think cooking and doing this thing, these channels pop up in the algorithm, right? And um, there's this guy that is cooking that he looks like that. He looks like that guitar player's mayor. He looks like he's some sort of cousin or second cousin or something like that. But anyway, he's got some dishes where he's fusing together Mexican and Italian dishes on certain things, and they look delicious. And he's taking a chance, and he's cutting people off, saying, "Hey, man, I don't care if you think this isn't what real Italians do. I don't care if you think this isn't what real Mexicans do. This is what I do, and this is." And I suggest you try it before you start talking trash about it. You know. So I'm gonna try with this dish that he has: chicken parmesan a la mexicana, if you will, um, using some sort of using the Italian process with a lot of Mexican ingredients. That's the best way I can describe it. But you know, um, I don't think I would. It feels like I wouldn't come across that guy's channel if I didn't start doing some of this dumb stuff and uploading it to the world. All right, I'm gonna finish eating, and that's gonna be enough for today. Um, Questions, comments, concerns, whatever. This video will be up. Nobody's watching anyway, so who cares? Who cares? It's okay. Somebody will watch it on the only in the reruns. All right, take it easy. Talk to you later.